After getting into an argument with my editor-in-chief last week, I was dreadfully reminded that I have books that we need to sell. Remember, Firewall Me Daddy is the story of two girls, one dragon, and remember, Trickstars, Art of the Trick, will be coming soon to you. It is time to resume our lovely Q&A. We're going to start this off very well with Ranzer SSF4. Asked, out of all the Yu-Gi-Oh products that came out since the start of 2018, what were the biggest disappointments in your eyes besides extreme disappointment? So I'm going to just assume we're going to just talk about the year 2018 in this one. Fuck it, we'll do both. This year was Duelist Pack, Star Pack Vrains. Though that said it had a lot of money in it, a lot of people discouraged people from buying it, which means cheaper product for me to pick up later on down the road. The worst set of all time goes out to Cyberdark Impact, having the shittiest sales in the game's history, and giving us not too damn much to go on. I also got to give a shout out to Shadow Specters for also being an extreme disappointment. One reason why extreme disappointment is so extremely disappointing is there's just shit cards to pull. I think Shadow Specters kind of taught us that. Whatever, I think it was Shadow Specters that had the shitty C number monster on it. But you learn from your mistakes there. Ralph Lemon asked, how long does it take you to scrub under your gobbler? Gobbler? I think he means swoopa there. But I'm actually very prideful in my hygiene, as weird as it is. I sweat a lot because I'm a fat person, but usually I'm taking like 20-minute showers. Just to be straight up honest with you. If you don't smell good at an event, half this community's already got terrible hygiene. But, yeah. You gotta take pride in what you do for yourself, man. Nuranagi asked, why are some TCG players, TCG Western players, so focused on the idea of having this player image of spellgrounds, TI calculators, encase, dice, white sleeves, etc. Shows no personality other than wanting to appear like you're good. So that's the thing. Many players, I think, used to have this mentality of they need to have X thing to intimidate their opponent. Spellgrounds kind of have lost their appeal over the years. We know this. TI calculators, I actually just love having my calculator case. I'm a bit of a follower in the trend of what it was, but I love it. It's fine. White sleeves, nah, I prefer Ultra Pro Blue in that regard. I don't get why the white sleeve thing took off so master race, but I think most of this is just a sign to basically assert your dominance over your opponent with some dysfunctional image that you're trying to present to your opponent. I don't support the whole thing. I used to follow through this. I think having a $700 spellground mat or a $1,400 one is just a waste, because if something gets spilled on that shit, well, you're gonna be mad. That's my problem with having a mat in general that's expensive. Unfortunately, you kind of cry yourself to sleep on that regard. But I think the player mentality of monkey see, monkey do kind of comes into play. If people see something, they want it, you know. Seems good to me. Dion Davis asked, how are you doing? Questionably okay. Slightly hungry. But for the most part, I'm slightly content in that regard. But, could be worse, I guess. Twisted Issues asked, what is your favorite anime of all time? Also, is there any chance that we could see another collaboration with Simo in the future? My favorite anime of all time, I think we answered this last video. I'm pretty sure it was Clanad. Rumbling Hearts is a close second. High School of the Dead for the story. And Gundam, pretty much. And chances of seeing Simo once again on this channel? Oh, absolutely. Me and Simo just haven't had the time to really collab with each other. You know, we both have busy lives and things like that. But we'll eventually get to that point. The reason why it originally fell out in the first place was I just eventually got sidetracked and we could never sync up. So, don't think me and Simo hate each other. Not by any stretch of the imagination. I love Simo to death. Great guy. But for the most part, just scheduling issues, honestly. Lord Asmods asked, if you could design an own archetype, What would the name be, and how would they look, and what would their effects be? Holy shit, man, you have more faith in me than I have in me. So, jokingly, when we used to do the Orichalcos challenge on this channel, we actually messed around with designing our own card types and things like that. Probably an Orichalcos theme, spell speed, 4 negations, Hungry Robbie, the ability to have dark gadgets. Just imagine a Nega Robbie, just introverted, just introvert in my face, and that would just be my archetype. Basically everything I love, including the ability to substitute an effect for eating chicken. That seems like a really big thing. The big asked, your opinion on the new BattleBots season. I don't know what BattleBots is. I'm going to be honest with you. But thanks for asking. I really don't have an answer to that. Mitch Jackson asked, ooh, we're on to the next page. Challenge accepted, Robbie boy. What is your social security number? 555 55 5555. Easy as pie. The Big G also asked, dubstep, hardstyle, or Russian? Hard bass. Fuck. Dubstep's not too damn bad, though. I don't know about... I've never heard of Russian bass. I can just imagine what that would be. What's my... Oh, Pike Freak 93 asked, what's your favorite aspect regarding the game of Yu-Gi-Oh? For me, it's the deck building for existence. So, this is an interesting one. My favorite aspect about Yu-Gi-Oh... I think there's it's not going to be my favorite, but you're going to have a couple things here. The deck building aspect and how they limit you in the extra deck, I think is one of the most outstanding things that the game has going for it. Limiting your resource pool and forcing you to make those choices. I think that the problem that people have with the game at times is they think they're entitled because there are so many different options out there. But one of the things that Yu-Gi-Oh! Kind of forces you to do as a whole is make really hard card choices. And sure, there can be 15 different effects out there that do basically the same thing for you. For side deck choices, or when you're building your extra deck, do you know how many people will always make the statement, damn, it's so fucking tight. God, it sounds so bad, but that's what our community says. But for the most part, in terms of general construction and things like that, the thing Yu-Gi-Oh! Has, you have your infinite card pool, but you are limited within the confines of it. And this is something that I find to be similar to Pokemon. Pokemon has insane draw power, but you're limited in how many energies that you can attach in a turn. Because of this, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has as many resources as you want, but because of there being so many different options, you're forced to make limited card choices within this small window. For your side deck, for your extra deck, for your side deck, even. If you make one wrong card choice in terms of your choices, I think in a way I'm agreeing with him here for the deck building, but it's because of the way that the game overall limits itself, but yet is so vast in construction that you have to make these rather rash decisions. And I think that will... I don't think it'll be the downfall of Yu-Gi-Oh! I think the way that they've designed the structure of the game, it's absolutely wonderful for this. But for the most part, I hear the same continued complaints from people. We need a 20-card extra deck and things like that. I think a 20-card extra deck would be incredibly bad for the game. Limit the resources, force people to make the decisions, and force the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! To be constricted in the way in which it naturally should be. I think it's wonderful. It sucks hero players can't play their 45 fusion cards, but, we were never getting blown out by every hero player ever. Ebola Kribo asks, what's your go-to meal before a big Yu-Gi adventure, or at least your favorite meal? Well, I used to really have a Chinese restaurant I enjoyed. Unfortunately, the owner has long since retired. Man had 30 years in business, man. I really miss those Hunan noodles, but for the most part, I always enjoyed his Chinese cuisine when he was in business. It's something I grew up with. Closed down about 2 years ago. It was always my favorite meal. but some wonton soup always makes me a little happy. It definitely warms my heart when I come back home to be sitting at the Chinese buffet, snatching down on their wonton soup, spending $10 for the buffet, because that's what my life has come to. I don't know, I just love wonton soup in general. Nicholas Supasi asked, what do you plan on running this format? So currently, thanks Grow Crusta, by the way, still love this deck box. We are currently playing Sky Strikers, and I don't, my friend has my Trickstar core, and it's the only deck that he knows how to play, so I could play a really good deck, or me and my friend can divide and conquer at locals, and he can play Trickstars, and I can play Sky Strikers. You know, I don't think a lot of people like the mentality of divide and conquer, but I'm not going to take my Trickstar core back and not allow my opponent or my friend to play the game. But I'm really liking pure Sky Striker. This deck's going to die in a fire on the next list, 100%. There's absolutely no reason why this deck will survive. Also, Super Foolish Barrel's one of my favorite cards. I really hope we get the alternate art for this. But I really love the fact that Sky Strikers feel like a stun deck. They're a little bit more reminiscent to Zoo in the core structuring in which they play. But because of that similar interaction, I don't have a problem playing the deck. I think the deck is fine. But it's kind of an as a beholder. I love Altergeist too. I think the deck's fun. Once again, my other friend took my Altergeist stuff, so I mean, fuck it. Remember, if you want to play the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And get better at the game, you have to be willing to loan your friends cards so that they too can play the game as well. So on a follow-up to that question, Max also asked pretty much the same question. What will be your tournament deck for the upcoming format? Currently Sky Strikers. We have everything kind of sitting around. The ability to play Altergeist, Trickstars, Goki, things like that. Actually, my other friend has my Goki core, so I can't play Goki. Kind of got first pick of what I wanted to play this format. But Sky Strikers are hella fun, man. I just enjoy the way that the deck plays so much. David Peralta? Peralta. Hey, Robbie. If you could do a new master rule in Yu-Gi-Oh, which will it be? Personally, I will limit the number of special summons that you can do in a turn. What do you think? Massive special summoning is fine in regards to the game of Yu-Gi-Oh. I think the problem in Yu-Gi-Oh lies in the fact that there's such a large card pool. And when I say that, set rotation's not the way I would go. But if you release a new master rule, I think I would implement something that you can only have X copy in your deck. That's something that Yu-Gi-Oh's never really explored, is the self-limitation of cards being made. Especially, you have something like Firewall out, produce it as you can only include one copy of this card in your extra deck. I think that would have been a fire solution. But I think the master rule I would apply would just be that. Limitations of cards, not via the effect of the ban list. Kind of like how you can only use Gold Bulb's effect once per duel, and you can still play through copies of it. Just also include that text, but also change it so that you can only include one copy in your deck. Dark Heroes Lidox asked, when are you going to quit this terrible game to start playing Vanguard full-time? I already do play Vanguard full-time. I don't think people understand how much time I do put into Vanguard. My problem here is I don't have a Thursday locals, so I may as well go play Yu-Gi-Oh! Also, Vanguard doesn't make me nearly as much talking about it as Yu-Gi-Oh! Does. But I still enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh! It might not look it, but I do. And then D3V asked, do you think Chamber could ever top a YCS with the right deck list or tech choices? My answer to this question is, it's a damn shame that Chain Strike, the key card needed in the recipe to allow you to be successful and win an event based on current time procedures. Why would Konami ever limit such a defiantly good card when these Trickstar cards exist? I don't understand. I really don't. But I think because Chainburn exists, I think it's had its chance. OC Burn existed long before Chainburn, and Burn has had its time. I think it's definitely past its prime at this point. But for the most part, let's be honest here, you're kind of hoping on a broken pipe dream. And broken pipe dreams, they're not all the success that people think they are. But you know what, for the most part, I'll give it up. I'll say the deck could have a chance, because every dog has its day. But for the most part, there's that. So, D3V asked one more question here. How do you usually react when you lose to a troll deck, like Final Countdown, Reversal Quiz, Online? I rage as hell. Losing to anything out of the ordinary definitely can put me on tilt. There's not really much to do, or much you can really say and do about it. But I think for the most part, if you watch an older video of mine, I think there's a video from me like 2015 playing against Yugioh, and just so mad. And then actually, he had one more question here. Could you build a gadget deck again for link format? I missed your gadget builds. Hashtag get gadgets back. So here's the thing: every 100 years, I'll kind of mess around with gadgets. You might see something random. The problem is the deck is so slow now. You know, ABCs are the new gadgets. We kind of adapt to the ways of these things, and I apologize that I know a lot of people want new gadget content, but my problem is I can give you the best gadget build I can possibly produce with my wisdom. Problem is, will the deck be good? I don't know. The deck I don't think will top ever again. It's just kind of the unfortunate reality of the situation. But gadgets, if you really want, I'll try to come up with something. Just remind me at some point. But I'm not saying I won't. I'm just saying don't expect it to be good. It's just the downside to things. That's all I got for this Q&A video. Oh God, so much here. Don't worry, we're only like halfway through. What do you guys think? Am I still looking hella fancy? You guys remember my amazing book, Remember, coming to you this fall. Peace out, guys. Till part 3 tomorrow. The ride never ends, guys. Make sure you enable those notifications to get the latest videos that are being posted on this channel. Make sure you guys check out Vancol40 for my Cardfight Vanguard channel. And join me and House of Champions on the Zodiac Duelist TV Twitch stream. We'll be interacting with our audiences. And please check out No Limit Gaming and LGTCG.com for the cheapest trading cards on the market. Thanks for watching, guys, and please have a good day.